வணக்கம். Understanding the concepts of organization structure is very important for SAP consultants, power users, and key users. For end users, it is important to know these organization structure details to improve your learning. In this session, we will discuss how the business organization structure is mapped into SAP organization structure. We will discuss overall SAP organization structure and also the specific SAP PP and MM module structures. Normally, we understand the organization structure as functional hierarchy as shown here. Like there is a managing director, then there are some vice presidents, like that. In SAP, organization structure is mapping the overall organization, different branches, plants, warehouses, and sales organizations, purchase organizations, etc. In a new SAP implementation, several decisions must be made to ensure a successful project. One of the important decisions is on organizational structure, which is the key for successful SAP implementation. To achieve the flawless execution of business processes, an extremely important step is to accurately map the organization's structure into SAP system. The organization structure in SAP system is equally applicable to all manufacturing types like discrete manufacturing, process manufacturing, or repetitive manufacturing. All SAP S/4HANA organization structures are agreed between the business team and the project implementation team at the beginning of the SAP project to put the right foundation so that SAP system can meet all the legal aspects of the company's organization structure as well as attend to specific reporting needs. Configuring an accurate organization structure is key to successful implementation. From material management perspective, purchase organizations, plants, store location, purchasing groups are important elements of an organization structure. Separate organization elements exist for financial accounting such as company codes. For sales and distribution, organization structure are sales organization, division, distribution channels, divisions, etc. Setting up organization structure requires knowledge about the objects to include after creating among the stakeholders and with the project's implementation team along with the business owners, business analysts, and SAP team consultants. A practical approach is to adopt the organization structure in the SAP system to ensure organization structure is not so generic so that it loses the significance and prevents the business process owner from extracting the required information from the system, or it should not be so minute that it becomes cumbersome to collate and consolidate the details. Also, we have to consider the long-term plan of the organization so that any future business expansions, all those things should be able to be accommodated using the current organization structure defined in SAP system. As we see here, the different functional departments of an organization are mapped into SAP using organizational units. Organizational units are responsible for a set of business functions. An enterprise or corporate group is mapped into SAP as a client, and different companies or subsidiaries of an enterprise are referred to as the company codes. Clients and company codes are two types of organization units. They are often found at the highest level in the SAP organization structure. When discussing the levels of organization structure in SAP, the client is the highest element, but many other levels may exist. A client may have one or more company code assigned to it. Each company code may have one or more plants assigned to it, and each plant may have one or more store locations assigned to it. Organization structure showed here, it is indicating that the organization, the profitability analysis of the company is performed at the controlling area level. The cost center and profit center accountings are performed at the level as well. The valuation area represents the level at which company values its market stock consistently. It is part of logistics area of the SAP system. A one-to-one relationship exists between the valuation area and the plant. For example, a material at one plant may have different standard price than at another plant. In the organizational unit of PP and MM, the company code attains the highest level. Within the company code, there can be one or more multiple plants. Within each plant, there can be one or multiple physical and virtual store locations. For MM, there are some additional organization units called purchase organization and purchasing group. In our session, we will discuss the organization units related to PP, MM, and also the organization elements related to sales and controlling to some extent. In an SAP system, the word client has a specific meaning, and also clear understanding of what this meaning is very important. In general speech, a client means it is a customer to whom we are providing the services. In SAP system, it refers to a corporate group which is highest organization element. Clients in an SAP system are also used to differentiate among real-time data, test data, and development data. A company that purchases SAP will install system and servers and then configure SAP into company-specific needs. The system is called as instance. Companies can have more than one SAP instance, but all the instances exist on different SAP systems. A number of clients can be created within one instance. A client is an organizational and legal entity in SAP system. The master data is protected within the client because the data cannot be accessed from outside the system. A client represents the highest element of SAP system's organization structure. Often, the client represents the companies or group of companies within which there are several independent company units. An SAP system can contain several clients in logical units. The additional organization elements and master and transaction data are created, managed within the client. Master data is the data that remains in the system for a much longer period than a transaction, and business users repeatedly access master data to perform business functions. Master data in a client is only visible within the client and it cannot be displayed or changed from another client. Multiple clients may exist in SAP system for different objectives. A client has its own set of tables and user data. Objects can either client dependent or client independent. SAP objects that are used by only one client are client dependent. Objects that are used by all the clients in SAP system, such as ABAP programs, are client independent. From SAP systems landscape perspective, normally there are three clients like a systems, that is the development DEV, quality assurance QAS, and the production PRD. The actual configuration of SAP system takes place in development system, which is then transported to quality system, that is QAS, for testing and training. The final configuration eventually moved to PRD, the production system, which is the final and live system on which the business process owners of the company make real live entries. This we discussed even the previous session also. Please note that some settings done in plant may have impact across the client's levels, all company codes and all plants. For example, QM active for a material will activate the quality for the material across the client. Basic 1 and Basic 2 view of the metal master are applicable for all the plants and company codes in the client. So it must be carefully handled whatever the client independent and client dependent parameters and also the settings. In our business case, we are having only one client because this is a sandbox system and testing system for a practice, and that client is 800. SAP defines company and the company code separately. SAP defines company as the smallest organizational unit for which the organization must prepare legal financial statements. You will be able to provide data for generating balance sheet and profit and loss statements. Company code is below client in SAP organization structure. Using more than one company code allows a customer to manage financial data for different independent companies at the same time. For example, a company that is in two different businesses where assembly of products is there in one entity and manufacturing components in another entity requires separate legal financial statements and thus will require two different company codes. So there is one company, two company codes in SAP. When deciding on organization structure, we can use one or many company codes. Thus, for example, if an Italian company has branches in US and India, the company may decide to use different company codes for each country. Company code currencies can be different for each component, but they must use the same chart of accounts. Multiple company codes can be created in each client. Please note, multiple company codes can be created in each client. In our business, the company code we will be using is 1710, which is a standard system given by which we hired. The details under company code are company code, company name, city, country, currency, and language. During the SAP implementation project, the financial stream, that is FI team, decides with the business and works on the creation of company code in the SAP system. In general, it is recommended that when creating a company code, you copy the new company code from an existing company code. In a standard SAP system, company code 001 is there, which can be copied into various company codes, so that system will copy all the parameters specific to the company codes. If necessary, we can change the specific data on the relevant application, which is less time consuming than creating a new company code, and also reduces the chance of error when maintaining the settings for a new company code. Now we will see the company code settings in system. Please do not make any change in these settings. It will affect the entire system, and all our colleagues who are all following this in our dedicated server will get affected. Whoever you are using the public system also, please don't disturb these settings, because it will affect the people who are using your server. Okay, so please better not to touch these settings. Now we will see how the company code settings are set in the system. So we'll go to the SPRO. SPRO is the configuration transaction. Go to the SAP reference IMG. IMG means implementation guide. Go to the enterprise definition. Then here finance accounting. Here we see that define company. Here we go to the edit company code. So here we see the company code details 1710, company name, city, etc. Please do not do any changes here. Okay, right. This is how we see the company codes. A plant is an organizational unit within logistics. You can classify a plant from the point of view of production, procurement, maintenance, warehouse, and planning. For example, the plant can be a manufacturing site, or head office, or a distribution center within a company. The plant organizes the tasks for the production logistics. It can be physical production site or logical grouping of several sites in which materials are produced or goods and services are provided. Different production locations are mapped with the plant into SAP system. At the plant level, we can perform the following tasks, that is managing inventory, evaluating and performing physical inventory, managing the demand, planning the production, executing and controlling production, performing material requirements planning. In the organizational structure of SAP system, we can assign only one company code to a plant. However, we can assign multiple plants to one company code. In our business case, we are having company code 1710, under which we will have two plants, 1710 and IN01. As of now, when we go on to see in the system, we can see only 1710 plant. Company code IN01 will be created later as part of the course and also as part of training. During implementation project, the materials management team decides and works on the creation of plants in the SAP system. Details under the plant are plant code, name, language, address, and the factory calendar. After the creation of plant, it has to be assigned to the company code. I will show you creating a plant while creating the new plant IN01 for interplant purpose. You may not create any new plant until I advise. Now we will see the plant details and assignment to company code in the system. Again, please do not do any changes in these settings. It will affect the entire system. So let us see the plant details, how they are configured. Again, go to SPRO, enterprise structure. Right, and here now we go to the under enterprise structure, we are going to the definition. Earlier we went to financial accounting. Now we are going to logistics general. So here you see the defined plant. So since there is only one plant defined here, it is only showing here 1710. Also it is showing all the details what we discussed, the language, postal code, city, etc. See here only one is showing. Now after defining it, we have to assign it to the company code. So we go to the assignment section After definition, go to the assignment section. Again, go to logistics general. Assign plant to company code. We are going to see what is already assigned. We are not going to assign anything now. See the company code 1710, the plant 1710. It is the plant is already assigned to the company code. That's it. Again, please do not do any change in these settings. It will affect others. So we'll keep as it is. It is just to go through it, right? Okay. So we discussed client, company code, plant, then is a storage location. Storage location is the physical or virtual storage site for the materials. So examples like raw material storage, component storage, return goods storage, finished goods storage, scrap storage, etc. And also we can have storage tanks or silos also as a storage locations. Also here we have some provision in the tanks. We need to define what is the maximum storage capacity, right? So this is available in the extended warehouse management function. In regular material management function, it is not there. So once the stock is there, further we can fill or not, that we cannot control with the regular MM. And please note, we can create as many storage locations as we needed in the plant, but we can assign a storage location to one plant only. So again, see all these relationship we should know. Okay. Earlier we discussed one company code can be attached to one client, right? So, but many company codes also attached to the one client. Similarly, one company code can have many plants, but a plant can be assigned to only one company code. Similarly, store location can be assigned to a plant only, but a plant can have multiple store locations. This kind of relationship we should know. The details contained in the store location are the storage location code and also the address of the store location. The MM team creates the store location and assigns them to the plants. I will show you the creation of store location. While creating a new store location it is required. You may not create any new store location until I advise. We'll see the store location details in the system. Once more, please do not make any changes settings. It will affect the system here because we are going to use the same store locations for our entire course and also for our exercise. So now we will see the storage location details, how they are configured in the system. So again, we go to the SPRO transaction and then that reference ING, go to the enterprise structure. Now we go to the definition. Now we go to the logistics function, sorry, materials management. Here maintenance store location for plant 1710. Okay, under material management, plant 1710. Go inside. See here, we can see many store locations, right? So there are many functions here like validity and other things. Those things I will explain later. How this is useful, what we can do with this. Once we go through the regular transaction, then if you want to do some changes, any update or any improvement, how we can use them, I'll explain later. Okay, right. Here we see the organization structure that will be used for production planning and execution. For our course, we will be using only the company code 1710 and its relevant organizational units like a plant 1710 and a plant IN01. And the plant IN01 will be created later as part of the training. Okay, this is organization structure for PP. This is the organization structure for MM. Here we already discussed the client, company code, plant and store locations. For our course again, we'll be using the company code 1710 only and organization related to it like a plant IN01 and 1710. And there are new organizational units under MM. They are purchasing organization and purchasing group. The purchasing organization is a unit that is responsible for procuring materials or services for one or more plants and for negotiating general conditions of purchase with vendors. We'll discuss how these purchase organization different combinations can be used. We'll discuss little while. Then purchasing group. Purchasing group is the one where the purchase organization is further subdivided into purchasing group who are responsible for day-to-day buying activities. Purchasing group people are responsible for day-to-day activities. Purchasing group can also act for several purchasing organizations. So this is the overall MM organization structure. So now we'll see the various combination of purchasing organizations and how they can set for the efficient way of handling purchasing based on the organization's requirements. A purchasing organization is responsible for legally responsible for all the external purchasing activities. They negotiate the conditions for purchasing with vendors for one or more plants. This means that we can determine whether the purchasing is organized centrally or decentrally in the organization. For example, centralized purchase to manage all the companies and plants, or decentralized purchase for each company, or decentralized purchase for each plant. Like that, we can have different combinations. Now let us discuss them one by one. Before discussing how the various purchasing organizations can be arranged, whether it is central or decentral, let us discuss some basics about assigning the company code, purchasing organization, and the plant. Because to set the organization structure for MM, this is very important. So please go through this slide slowly as they are important for the consultant and also the power users to understand how the organization structure in MM is set. The plant with purchasing organization company code, how they are set. In SAP system, a plant must be assigned to one or more purchasing organizations. Furthermore, a plant must always be assigned to a company code. This we already discussed. Then purchasing organization with the company code. A purchasing organization can be, may be, or may not be assigned to a company code. A purchasing organization may be or may not be assigned to a company code. If we do not assign a company code to purchase organization, then the later, that is the purchase organization, can engage in procurement operations in all the plants for every company code. Only prerequisite is that the plant for which procurement is carried out, that should be assigned to the purchasing organization. So please go through these points. You need to understand before we go through the next 3 slides, which will be talking about different combinations. In this plant specific purchasing organization, the purchasing organization is responsible for procuring materials for that particular plant only. For example, there is a purchasing department in each plant, and each plant, that respective purchasing department is responsible for negotiating with vendor, creating contracts, and issuing purchase orders. And then the plant specific purchase organization can be used there. In this scenario, we need to define a purchasing organization for each plant in SAP, then assign this purchase organization to the respective plants. This is only for explanation purpose. Here, this is the first scenario for explanation. We will not be using this organization structure in this business case. We can set up a cross-plant purchasing organization for each company code. This purchase organization procure material and services for all the plants assigned to the specific company code. So here, a single purchasing department is responsible for procurement of all the materials in all the plants within the company. So for example, we have this company 1710. We have plants 1710 and plant IN01. So purchase organization 1710 is assigned to the company and also to these plants, which means that purchase organization is responsible to procure the materials for these two plants under this company code 1710. There is another purchase organization that will be responsible to get the material for company code 200. Here we are going to use this 1710 only. Again, this is the organization structure which will be used in our business case. This is the organization structure which will be applied in our system. I will show you that later. If you want to organize purchasing on a cross company code basis, we cannot assign the company code to the purchase organization configuration. See, it is a cross company. If we want, we should not assign the purchase organization to the company code. See here, all these things are directly linked to the plant. Only one purchase organization that is linked to all the plants. So when you create the purchase order, the system asks you to enter the company code for which you want to procure the material. So we have to enter that purchase company code at that time. Some customers, big customers or some centralized customers, they will have only one purchase organization to procure the materials, which will be controlling all the plants across the different company codes as we are showing here. In configuration, we can assign the purchasing organization to company code and in company code and plant. In cross company code purchasing organization, what we are seeing here, we need to assign the purchase organization to plants only. Though it is possible to assign the purchase organization to company code and plant, if we want to have cross company code purchase organization, then the purchase organization has to be assigned only to the plant, not to the company codes. Do not assign the purchase organization to the company codes. Again, this is the explanation only. This is one kind of scenario. We will not use this organization structure in our business case. So we discussed 3 purchasing organization concepts, right? The first one is plant specific purchase. Each plant is having different purchase organization. So we'll create purchase organization 1 for plant 1, purchase organization 2 for plant 2, purchase organization 3 for plant 3, like that. Another one is we saw that cross plant purchase organization. Here we create a purchase organization assigned to the company and then assigned to the plants in that particular company. So it is a cross plant. So within the company, for all the plants, the purchase organization can be used. The third what we are discussing is we are not assigning this purchase organization to any company code. It is directly assigned to all the plants so that it can be used for all the plants there, right? Only one purchase organization. So please have a clarity here. But in our business case, as we discussed, we are going to use the cross plant, not that plant specific or cross company. Now we'll see the definition of purchase organization and their assignment to the plant and the company code, how it is done. Let us go to the SPRO, IMG. Now go to the enterprise structure, definition, then materials management. Here we go to the maintain purchase organization. See, here we have one purchase organization 1710. That is what we are going to use here. Okay, that is one purchase organization. And then let us see that assignment. This is the definition. Then we'll see the assignment. So in assignment, again go to the purchasing, material management. Here assign purchase organization company code. So you see here purchase organization 1710 is assigned to company code 1710. Then assigning the purchase organization to the plant. So it is assigned from purchase organization to the plant. You can note here it is assigned to both company code and plant. That is why I told it is a interplant, right? Interplant organization structure. This is what we are using here. Purchase organization is further subdivided into purchasing groups, that is also called as buyer groups, which are responsible for day-to-day buying activities. A purchasing group can also act for several purchasing organizations. It is an independent entity. No assignment is needed for this. Also, it is not part of the purchasing organization. Now we'll see how the purchasing groups are defined. PRO. See, purchasing group now, it will be defined under materials management directly. Here no, it is not in the enterprise structure. Go to the materials management directly and there purchasing, right? Here we have the that is see maintain purchasing groups. Under purchasing, maintain purchasing group. So it is under materials management. I'll show you materials management, then under purchasing, and then we have the purchasing group. So here we execute and go inside. There are already 4 purchasing groups are defined. We will use 2 of these because in business case I defined 2 purchasing groups. We will use 2 of these purchasing organization groups for our course. Inventory management organizational structure with the materials management is shown here. Client, company code, plant and store location. It will be having further extension with the organization structure in case the extended warehouse management is implemented. But we are having only MM here. I will stop here. But overall organization, when we are discussing, I will show you how that double warehouse management will be linked to here. So there is a simple way of seeing the organization structure for inventory management with materials management. That is what I am going to show here. That we can see it through the transaction, which is a regular inventory management transaction called MMBE. Put MMBE. and then go inside. See here we can give the material, plant, store location, anything. Now when we scroll down right in the bottom, see here there are options like company code, plant, store location, batch. See, like all these levels we can see the inventory. Company code level, plant level, batch level, etc. Okay, now we put that company material and plant, execute it. See now we can see the stock at company code 1710, plant at 1710, and the store location 171A. So this is a simple way of seeing the what is the organization structure for inventory management under materials management module. For warehouse management, we'll have different organization elements that we'll discuss later. The valuation area is the organization level at which material is valuated. Plant and company code are two possible valuation areas in SAP. So valuation area can be done at plant level and also company code level. When stock is valuated at plant level, we can valuate the material in different plants in different prices. When you evaluate the stock at company code level, the valuation price of the material is the same in all companies' plants, that is in the company code. SAP recommends that valuate the material at the plant level because valuation at plant level is mandatory if you want to use either of the production planning or product cost accounting components. Defining the valuation level in customizing is a fundamental setting and it is very difficult to reverse. So care has to be taken. Further discussions have to be done before fixing this in the initial stages of SAP implementation. So after discussing some specific organization elements related to PP and MM, now we'll discuss some other organization elements starting with some sales related here. First, sales organization. Sales organization is an organizational unit that sells and distributes the products and services, negotiate terms of sale, and is responsible for the transactions. Legal selling unit responsible for revenue of the product, revenue and the product liability. Sales orders belong to the sales organization at the header level. Master data maintenance for customers and pricing are maintained at sales organization level. Plans assigned to sales organization. Please note plans are assigned to the sales organization. In our course, we will be using sales organization 1710, which is assigned to the plant 1710. Distribution channel is through which materials or services reach the customers. Typical distribution channels include warehouses, retailer, OEM, distributor, export, etc. Sales orders belongs to one distribution channel at the header level, and master data maintenance for customer pricing are maintained at sales org and distribution channel level. Distribution channel is assigned to sales organization. For our organization, we will be using distribution channel 10 in our course. A division is a product group that can be defined for a wide-ranging spectrum of products. Division represents a segment of the company motivated by special market requirements to commercialize certain types of products. A division is usually attached to sales organization and distribution chain. A material can be assigned to one division only. Please take note, a material can be assigned to one division only. This is a very important point. A division should be ideally identify a product category with its own dedicated sales team and corporate structure to support it. For our course, we will be using division 00. Sales area mapping is illustrated here. Though we will not go into deep on this topic, I just wanted to show you this particular structure so that you can get an overall idea of how the sales organization, how distribution channel, and how division are connected. This is to have a overview of the sales organization structure. So now we'll move on to our specific discussion. Controlling area is the one which is coming under the controlling module. This is an important organization structure. It represents a full self-contained cost accounting system and internal reporting structure for all or part of an organization. The control area can encompass one or more company codes. Control area can be assigned to different company codes also. For our course, controlling area A000 will be used. Here we see the overview of the SAP organization structure starting from the client 800 for our business case. We have controlling area A000 and company code 1710. plant 1710 is assigned to company code 1710. Though plant IN01 is shown here, assigned to the company code 1710, it will be created and assigned later as we discussed earlier. We also see the store locations assigned to the plants. Sales related organization structure is shown with the sales organization, distribution channel, division along with sales office and sales area. When warehouse management is implemented, store locations will be assigned with respective warehouse management organization elements as shown here. And these are the organizational units that we will be using and diving into deep in our course. Whatever I am showing in the highlighted here. Sales organization units will be used, but we will not go into deep the explanation of those elements, but we will be using in our course to create sales order and other purposes. I would like to share one important tip here. Whatever I explain here are from SAP only. SAP has so much documentation built into the system. If you know how to navigate those details and how to use them, you can become a SAP expert soon. Here I will show you some documents which are coming in the system configuration level. Again, I would like to bring to your kind attention that please do not change any configuration details until I suggest you. But you can go through the configuration details, come out without saving any of those things, and also you can go through the documents which I am going to show you. If you do any changes, that is going to affect everyone in our group. Also, as I mentioned, that will create no huge issues for our continuous learning purpose. So now let us see how we have to read the document. Now let me go into the configuration SPRO, that selecting the SAP. See, now I go to the enterprise structure, for example. Under enterprise structure, go to the definition. I select the logistics, then plant. See, under plant, if I put the executive button, it will go and do the transaction. I mean, I can create new plant or not. But there is another icon there on the left side of the executive, right? This is one. See the display documentation. If we click on display documentation, see here, it is showing define plant. See, now we can expand it and see the details, define plant. See, what are all the details which are available? I am giving all the details from here only. I am collecting these things and presenting it to you. That's it. If you have your own interest and if you want to see the things, you can see them by yourself by going through them. See, here it is showing plant store location assigned to single company code, and then assign the store locations, then business area. Like these various points are there, right? So like this, you can go through all the details by yourself. Everything is there. See here, all the steps which are showing here, right? They are all having the documents. So please use these documents in SAP so that you can become SAP expert soon. So this is an important tip, right? Which you can learn and which will speed up your learning process also. All the best. As explained in the beginning of the session, understanding the concepts of organization structure is very important for consultants, power users, and key users. For end users, it is important to know them to improve your learning. In this session, we discussed the following, like what is the importance of organization structure defined in the SAP, how the business organizations are aligned with SAP organization. Also, we went into detail about client, company code, plant, store location, purchasing group, organization, purchasing organization, and other relevant organization elements like sales organization, controlling area, valuation area, etc. Now we'll go through some quiz questions related to this session. What are all the activities performed at plant level? Which is the highest element in organization structure? Can we assign a plant to different company code? How many store locations can be created in one plant? What are the different kind of purchasing arrangements based on the purchasing control? Can a purchase organization assign to multiple plants? What is purchasing group? And what is the recommended organization element level to evaluate the material? We'll discuss the answers in the next session. After going through the SAP organizational structure and various elements in detail, in the next session, we will discuss elaborately the master data required for PP and MM. Please give your feedback to improve the flow and contents of our course. Also, please suggest your friends and colleagues to subscribe to the channel so that they get the benefit of this knowledge sharing session. Meanwhile, if you would like to hire the dedicated server to practice along with me, contact me at the email given here or the WhatsApp number. Thank you. See you in the next session. Take care. Bye.